Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this since for some reason my voice was taken out of this. I think there must have been a song playing in the background and it was flagged because of that song. Anyways, we're in chemical change number 1, steel wool and air. And what I've done is soaked the steel wool in vinegar, and it's going to take off any coating that there was. And then we're going to expose that steel wool to the air. Okay, so I'm going to put that soaked steel wool, and then we're going to, just like your instructions say, remove it from the vinegar, squeeze it out, and then put a balloon over a flask. So now I'm just getting the vinegar out of it, squeezing it out, and then I'm going to take the steel wool and I'm going to put it into a flask. And you can see there's no rust yet. Put it in the flask, and now I'm going to put a balloon on top of the flask, and then we're going to let it sit. We're just going to let it sit there. And it's going to sit there for 5 minutes. And then you're going to check the appearance. We're going to measure the initial mass of the system, the steel wool in the flask with the balloon on top. We're going to measure the mass of that system before and after. Okay, now I'm just showing you the steel wool. That's all I'm doing there. The appearance of the steel wool, the balloon is just sitting on top normally, and the steel wool is just a gray color. Now I'm going to weigh it, and you record the mass in the table on 6-3 as 141.2. So this is weighing it before the 5 minutes. We're going to also weigh it again after, and your final observations, we're going to fill that in as well. Now, as you can see, it's clouding up in there. It's clouding up inside, and you can see that the balloon is slowly sucking into the flask. The balloon is slowly, so the pressure inside the flask is lower than the pressure outside the flask, because the air is full of oxygen, and those oxygen molecules are bumping into one another, but they're also reacting with the iron and the steel wool. And because they're reacting, you end up with less molecules in the air, so there will be less collisions per second per area, and you will have a lower pressure. Now, if you record the second mass as 141.2, the mass has not changed. Okay, the mass of the system, the beginning was 141.2, the end was 141.2. Your final observations, you can't see really well, but the steel wool is flaky, brittle, and kind of reddish brown, and the balloon is inverted into the flask. So that would be your final observations. You can kind of see the reddish brown, but not very well. Okay, so that is experiment 1, page 6-2, the steel wool in vinegar. Now answer the questions in the book about this.